This is one of those Corvette covers, the wraps that you see on the cars when they're on the truck. Once you take it off, you want to throw it out. Like, this is not to be reused or anything like that. So I'm just gonna toss it in the dumpster to start my day here. Today's Thursday. It's gonna be a little bit of a rainy day later on. I do have my clients coming in to pick up that orange Corvette. We also got a red Corvette that will be picked up tomorrow. And we also got a Z06 in that'll be picked up probably one day later in the week. That one is not my deal. The orange one and the red one are my deals. The Z06 is Jackie's deal. It's actually starting to rain right now a little bit. As far as inventory, you can see we got a bunch of Traverses in the last week. We do have one Blue Glow Trax. I think this is available. We have about 5 Traxes sold. This is the only one that came in that was not sold. We have 6 more or 5 more on the way, something like that. I sold this RST Tahoe. This is going out tomorrow. Blue Malibu, still available. It's the only one we have in stock. And then we have a few pickup trucks. You saw the Bison edition in a recent video. A couple of 2FLs. And we have a couple of Equinoxes and 2 Blazers. I do know I owe you folks a couple of comments. I was getting called out already because in the last like 2 videos I forgot to do a little comment highlight. I figured that would be something I do with like the dealership lifestyle videos at the end. Not necessarily every video like the trade video, or if I'm doing like a product review. I probably won't put them in those. But today we're going to give you a couple of comments, and they're both EV related. Check this out. I actually, you know how I frame all my my Corvette window stickers? I took it up a notch in that now I just cut the back of the plastic out. This way it's still wrapped in plastic on the front and on the frame to protect it. You know, it looks like it actually came from a store. We also have both sets of keys for the car. We have the little fuel funnel that they give you. All the books, everything, you know, like the quick reference guides, the little cloth to clean the screen. Front plate bracket. Now this is something that is required in New Jersey. Technically by law, it's not really enforced all that much in pretty much every Corvette I've ever sold. No one ever puts this on. If they want to put it on, we will, but we give them the option. And then lastly, these are the Z51 brake cooling ducts, which are to be put on for track use and stuff like that. So car's all cleaned up. It's in the shop, ready to go. We have everything we need. Customer will be here around 1:30, 2 o'clock. We'll get all the paperwork signed up, show them the car, do the OnStar, you know, and they will be happily driving in their brand new C8 Corvette. And now for our 2 EV comments that we're gonna highlight in today's video. And again, I'm sort of doing this in the middle of the video just because I didn't in the last 2. So the first one here, I'll put up on the screen. It says, you know, there are some dealerships that have a diesel generator to be used to power their electric service centers for their EVs. Personally, I see no use for EVs. I just want to highlight this comment because this is sort of what I read as an example of how headlines and how stories that might be biased in a way could basically give you the perception of the way something actually is. I think we can all agree that it makes no sense to have an electric plug on a car attached to a diesel generator, unless it's a portable unit, maybe something on a truck that can go out to the scene if a car has no batteries, something like that. But if this is a dealership that has a diesel generator to power their plugs, and I don't know where this came from, I'm assuming it came from some sort of an article or something on the internet, could only assume that that's being used as a backup power source. So for instance, let's take your gas vehicle and go to a gas station and you pump your gas. If the region does not have power, let's say because of a hurricane or a tornado or a storm and the power is out, you cannot pump gas unless that gas station has some sort of a generator that can provide electricity to pump the gas. Electric plugs will be no different. Like here at our dealership, if the power goes out, the plugs don't work. Simple as that. We don't have a backup generator system that's going to provide electricity to those plugs. So if anything, that's a very good thing that the dealership is thinking ahead and putting a generator in that can power those electric plugs for future EV use. The next comment is from Super Tomtendo, which is a great name, by the way. He said, Dave B, didn't I just tell you this a week ago, how easy it was to buy a Tesla? He apparently had a very good experience buying a Tesla, didn't have to talk to anybody, showed up, had his phone, got the keys, got in the car and drove away. And I gotta tell you, I was very impressed with Tesla and that buying experience that my buddy Christian went through. It's a perfect example, like even me personally, Sometimes you think a certain way about something until you actually experience it, and then when you experience it for yourself, you're like, wow, you know what? That was pretty good. The fact that my buddy handled all of the paperwork, everything at home before he even got to the dealership on their app was phenomenal. I would love for that to be the way Chevy did things. Think about how much less work I would have to do by not having to do all the paperwork that we normally do here, sort of the old-fashioned way. The only form that my buddy signed that day at the dealership was this one form, which is for New Jersey for the $4,000 incentive that they currently have on electric vehicles. He had to fill that out and sign that. Other than that, everything was done, you know, at home. And again, there were plenty of employees working there, and they're called advisors. They're not called salespeople, and they're there for you if you need them. And if you don't need them, they kind of just stay back and stay out of the way, you know, but they're more than willing to help you in any way they can. I was curious what they make. I did a little research on Google just to see what does a Tesla gallery advisor make as far as income, and they're probably making about 6 figures a year. There's plates on this car. Yeah, I know. You just sold this Trax, right? You sold the Trax? Yeah. I have an appointment coming in on it. Dave Freeman sold the one Chevy Trax that we had, that blue one, and I have a customer that's coming in about a half hour to look at the Chevy Trax. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna have one to show her. However, we do have 3 that are down at the port that'll be here soon. The only problem is we don't have one to physically show them, like I just said, so we'll have to just work with the computer, you know, show them photos, builds, pricing, that sort of thing, and see what they think. My folks with the orange Corvette took delivery. They're very excited. Unfortunately, they had to drive it home on a rainy day, but you know, it's a car, it won't get hurt. That was actually the 5th car they purchased from me over the last number of years. Yesterday, I delivered a Tahoe, traded in a Suburban. I sold a Suburban when it was certified pre-owned to the same customer. They traded in for the new Tahoe. That was the 7th vehicle that they bought from me. Just thought I'd let you know.